Let's start with obviously the NBA story with Ja Morant. 25 game suspension. This is his seventh off the court incident in about a 2 year span. Three or four of them had something to do with gun possession on a video. He obviously doesn't get it. 25 game suspension. Now the union is up in arms. The union said they would agree with whatever the discipline was. They didn't think it'd be 25 games. 25 games is $7 million of Ja Morant's contract.
Wow.
Also, he cannot be reinstated after 25 games. He must go through a complete counseling program that the league has recommended. He must also provide a proposal of how he is going to conduct his personal business off the court if he is reinstated. I don't know that he can change his ways. He is what he is. He runs with the posse he runs with. It's just a horrible story. So that's that. This story out of West Virginia is gruesome. Bob Huggins, longtime basketball coach. I've known him since 1980. He self-destructed. You know, he was involved at the University of Cincinnati in a number of controversial issues, even though the Bearcats were a really good basketball program. There were NCAA violations. He had 2 DUIs along the way. The academic graduation rate at UC was 28%, and he just kind of snubbed his nose at the university when they criticized the basketball program. He did not leave on good terms with the president and some of the board of trustee members. Goes to West Virginia. He duplicates what he did. In fact, he did better. He won 305 games at WVU. He won almost 300 at the University of Cincinnati. He's gone to the NCAA tournament 11 times, been to the Final Four twice with the Bearcats. But there are personality issues. There were red flags issues with him for a long time. To me, it's terribly sad because he's a great coach, but he's a flawed man. And now the incident 6 weeks ago, and we kind of intimated that nobody acts like this on radio. When he started using F-bombs during a radio interview, and he attacked gays and lesbians, and then he attacked Catholics, I said, who the hell does that in the public venue now? Mm-hmm. Well, he did. And I thought there was something going on with him off the court that needed to be addressed. And now 6 weeks later, this drunk driving arrest in a battered car filled with beer cans. He blew 0.21 blood alcohol.
Wow.
That's almost 3 times the limit. Usually when you get those kind of numbers in a drunk driving incident, it involves accidents and fatalities. His car was wrecked, etc. He was forced out. He resigned within hours, but he was indeed forced out. I guess the thing that shocks me, and I've known him since I worked in Ohio, and I thought he was a really good coach. He was really aggressive. He was really pushy. He was really demanding. And I think he always lived on the edge. But over this course of years, since he's had these alcohol issues there, and then obviously this was getting worse in Morgantown, how come nobody in his inner circle, none of his friends, nobody in the university infrastructure would do an intervention with him about what they were seeing, how he was acting, what he was becoming? How could that happen? I mean, he's been tremendously successful, a very powerful man, even within the university structure. I think this is horrible. And I hope he winds up in intensive rehab, because it's obvious to me now he has a drinking problem grossly out of control. And I feel sad for him because I liked him. And you don't come out of this unless you're clean. And we're not talking just about job employment. We're also talking about health. Ever heard the word cirrhosis of the liver?
Oh, yeah.
You drink to the point of a 0.21? Holy cow. So I think it's a terribly sad story. I would hope 2 of his greatest players both played in the NBA for better than a decade, both at University of Cincinnati, Nick Van Exel and a big center. Mine escapes me right now. One of those 2 guys should do an intervention with Bob Huggins. And those kids, Huggins, their NBA careers, because he developed them into great players. And I would hope that one of those 2 players would do an intervention and guide him, walk him in to the Hazelden Clinic somewhere in the country and get him help, because it's obvious to me he needs help. I think it's a terrible story. To me, it's a sad story. And I think Kenyon Martin, the center, Nick Van Exel, the guard, both who starred in the NBA, one with the Lakers, one with Denver. Those guys can make a difference. And I think somebody close to him needs to help save his life.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that he decided to step down. But it just goes to show you, if you're like a head basketball coach, you're a big man on campus, people have issues, they have challenges. They're going to alcohol and drinking excessively because they're trying to avoid reality. They're having trouble. They have their own struggles. So people need help, and I think we're all learning, whether you're at the top dog as a coach in a big time program, or you're just a regular sports fan, there are substance abuse issues that need to be addressed. So hopefully he gets help. It's good there wasn't an accident, but geez, over 0.2, that's way over the edge.
Yeah. It's an addiction. It's a terrible addiction. And those kind of numbers, that's like neon lights. That's a really severe addiction.